Hello and welcome. I'm Bill Wake. We're here working on the shunt yard algorithm. It's one from Dijkstra from 1961 or so. It lets you convert an infix expression to a postfix expression, and then we're adding on some stuff to evaluate it as a postfix expression. We've done the bulk of that algorithm, but we're doing work on the postfix part now. All right, so postfix evaluation, you've got a stream of input coming in. We're showing it on the right, and postfix is the left subtree, the right subtree, and the root's the operator usually. So if you have 3 plus 4, that's 3, 4 plus in postfix form. And the evaluation is you're going to read things, and if it's a number, we push it. And if it's an operator, we take the top two things on the stack, evaluate them, and push the result. So if we have 3, 4 plus, the 3 goes on the stack, the 4 goes on the stack, plus comes in and says, I'll take those two numbers, evaluates them, gets a 7, pushes that on the stack, and that's the end. And the only thing on the stack is our value 7. So not a terribly hard algorithm. You can imagine writing this in C or even assembly language maybe. But let's go to the IDE. So we're putting this in the context of, well, somebody made some mistakes around here. Let's just say that. We originally had the shunt yard algorithm uses two queues, an input queue and an output queue, which could be streams. I guess you could look at it that way too. But and it has its own stack. But we need that. Let's go back here. We need the output queue of the shunt yard algorithm is the input queue for the postfix stuff. So we wanted to pull out that queue into a more global environment rather than having the shunt yard algorithm create that locally. And we need to create that and then hook it up to both the output side of the one algorithm and the input side of the other algorithm. And the problem we had is we've got it hooked up, but when you clear the stack on this side, it was assuming, oh, it's a local variable. I can just delete it and throw it away and create a new one. And that's not going to work here because we're listening in on the one that just got, quote, thrown away. So we've got, let's see, I ran tests. We've got one failing test. Test clear removes all items. And so we're creating a stack. We push 3 on it and we clear it. We'd like to say the stack is empty, but that's not the case. All right, so let's go to the stack code. And I'm a little vague, okay, on where we left off and that, you know, I remember we got to do, let's see, is it remove all? Yeah. Okay, and let's see if our tests pass. And then let's go back to the shunt yard algorithm and see what's going on there. Here's shunt yard. Oh, that's the app. Oops. Okay, everything's good. Well, let's push this while we're thinking about it. Make stack.clear, use remove all rather than deleting and reconstructing stacks. And I don't know, lots of times I tend to be more minimalistic. How do I say that? I tend to use immutable objects when I can, so it's nicer to just delete it and throw it away and you know it's gone, but we're sharing it, so it makes it a little more incumbent on us to do things properly. Okay, so prefix converter is our main shunt yard algorithm. Okay, and you see it's got two queues, input and output, and a stack. And it's clear. Okay, yeah, so the clear it has here, we really should be using stack.clear. We created it, and it should be no effect on the tests or anything. Okay, so we're just saying I want to touch the existing algorithm or existing structure. All right, we got to do the same thing on the queue. I don't know if we have a clear. Clear removes all items. Let's find our queue. Clear removes all. Okay, so we can do the same thing here. Okay, let's make a prefix converter. Here's clear on stack and queue, rather than making new local variables. Now let's see, prefix converter, the stack. Well, we're still not there. Okay. Make them user clear. Yes, that's a good thing. Today's the 1st. Okay, so theoretically it would do the right thing, but I think we still have a hookup issue. The value here, we would like that to come from somewhere else. Well, actually the stack's fine. The queue, especially the output queue, needs to come from somewhere else. All right, and this is where we're on this borderline of the visualization of Swift UI and then the just straight up algorithm that we're trying to implement. Normally your algorithm is more in your model side and you don't try and put published fields on it and things like that. Well, yeah, that's not quite true either. But in this case, we're definitely making it expose these variables and stuff to the Swift UI, and others are out there looking for it. So, all right, let's run it and see where we are. I think the issue we have is we don't. We animate the shunt yard algorithm okay, but we don't do anything for the prefix evaluation, and it gets kind of lost. Okay, that's over here. Well, so we'll work on this today. We may finish it, and then I have this long-standing thing. Well, not long-standing, but over the last 2 or 3 things we're working on for visualization, I'd like to turn the stuff we accumulate into a framework of some sort. And I've found a bunch of articles that describe doing that, so hopefully we can use some of those. All right, while that's getting started, this screen type unexpected is a known simulator bug. Okay, I don't think we'll need stack or the app. We'll keep this one. Content view and evaluator. This is the algorithm we described originally today. It runs through all the input, gets the symbol off the front of the queue, and if it's a number, it pushes it. Otherwise, it pops the right and left, and then operates on them and pushes the result. Pretty minimal. And then we just put in a basic arithmetic operator set. Okay, are we? Well, oh, that's a little flaky, simulator land. Okay, we'll start empty. Start easy. 3 + 4. Oh, we got it down to a high speed. Well, I don't see a 7 at the end there, so I know something's wrong. Let's. I got too many pieces I'm fooling with, I think. One of our things on our list is like, hey, let's make this a controlled parameter rather than manually editing it. And it may start a little quicker this time, but let's go up to the app. I actually had that open and closed it. I think what we have now is the state object for the prefix converter, but we really want to create a queue. And I don't know, it's a little funny around, Swift seems a little funny around initialization. I can't initialize something and then pass it as a parameter to the next thing. So somewhere I've got to hook it up somehow. Or give it a new parameter. All right, let's mix it up a little here. 1 plus 2 plus 3. So it should be 1, 2 plus, 3 plus. Okay, so the shunt algorithm passes through numeric stuff and pushes values on the operators on the stack. So we briefly had the two operators. Okay, 3 goes through and then pop that. Okay, and that's fine, except I want to visualize this evaluation. It should come into the next stack and be visible. Okay, so we're not. Let's see our stack evaluator. The input is initialized when it creates. Okay, so who's doing this? It must be the content view. Okay, print converter dot in output dot description. Okay, so this is the result of the shunt yard algorithm. It's a postfix. 1, 2 plus means add 1 and 2. 3 plus, add that to the sum. And we're checking that our output and their input is the same. Okay, I am confused. All right, so we run clear the converter, then we give it the user input, and then for our own amusement, I guess you'd say, we print the output and the input. Now, how the input gets to the evaluator, I'm a little confused. Here's the evaluator stack. Right, so we expect that we're seeing the evaluator stack, the converter's output, the converter stack, and the converter's input. I guess it seems a little right to left instead of left to right, but it just kind of works out better that way to visualize it. So it appears it's got the evaluator. I really don't understand. How did the evaluator, did we create that in the app? Yes, we did. Okay, that's fine. So the evaluator is holding the converter output. That's how come they're the same value. And now it would seem like our evaluator should be, oh, we're not sleeping in here. Okay, so we have these rules for our algorithms. Let's see if I can find them. Is that it? Nope. This is our approach. Let's see. So we do an async dispatch at the on the go button, and then whenever you want to sleep, you do this. For the view, the object you want to view has to be observable object with published fields, and then you have to run in the main thread to actually do anything. And there's a corresponding view. Okay, so this means our evaluator should be observable with fields published and do a run to main thread and do some sleeps. Okay. Oh, that's a long way out. All right. So evaluator is observable. It's got a published field for the stack, but it's not doing any sleeps. And the best place, I mean, we almost always have to sleep inside the loop. Okay, and for now, I'm just going to put this here. Okay. All right, so if it does something, we should visualize it. And then I think we're going to make we had a printout in here at one point. This, I want to at least see that we're computing it correctly. So I'll take out that. Maybe I will comment it for now while we're in this mode. Okay, so he gets the converter input. So that seems okay. And run. I'm definitely puzzled by our stack. All right. Whoops. 8 plus 9. Go. Okay, that's a bottom of the stack symbol. We should see the plus, yeah. And then the plus comes out. And then we should start seeing some evaluation, but it's not displaying. It's consuming. Oh, well, I did. Now we're testing our rerun ability. 9 plus, and then the plus, and the stack is empty. Okay. 17. All right, so what's going on? Okay, so the evaluator, it's publishing the stack. Let's make sure content view is actually displaying the right thing. He says show the stack with evaluator.stack. Why the one would work and not the other? So what we saw was the 8, 9 plus, the 8 consumed, the 9 consumed, the plus consumed. It's like we weren't getting notified when things changed. Now for us, we can go to stack.push. We can see it runs in the main thread, run in the main thread. So it seems like it's properly acting like an observable object. We must have had something similar on prefix converter. Am I leaving out a notification or something? Well, here we got add published var stack. We created our own, that's fine. Add published var stack creates our own. One's a stack of strings, characters. The other's a stack of integers. I don't know if there's any issue there. Stack push, stack pop. I'm going to add a little more here. These sleeps are definitely annoying, but I think we want to see it as it does it if possible. And the push should happen. There's so little going on different between them. Stack view, stack view. They appear to be created in the same way. Add published var stack equals stack of character. Let's take a look at stack. It's a published field, which is an array. That should be done in a run and main thread. And I don't have a good mechanism to tell me when I'm doing this wrong. It can complain, but maybe snapshotting a view. Let's see if that means anything. When a text field switches between responders? That's really a weird solution. I'm not sure why I would be snapshotting per se, even. I don't know what's causing that. Contents is an array. I don't know if there's a display issue around. I mean, these contents, item dot description. It would complain if it couldn't apply that to int. All right, I'm going to run it again. Well, and if I messed up the queue, the stack, I'm almost certainly messed up the queue. And this is not a visible thing. You can't detect this directly. It can detect it as a runtime error, which is why it's kind of an artificial thing. I don't know. My rules, they're somewhat empirical. Okay. I should just do 1. Okay, we expect 1, 2 plus to be on our output side, and then 1 gets consumed and should be on the stack at this point. 2 gets consumed, it's on the stack. Plus gets consumed. And it even seems like it's trying to animate it in that direction, but I'll just run it again just for grins. Yeah, that's moving. Oh. I truly hate this problem of stuff that doesn't display. It just... It's certainly evaluating. That's this one. We ran it twice, so it prints twice. I don't know where to look again then. I mean, all right. So when somebody comes in, they call evaluate. They're going to sleep. They're going to get the input symbol. This is happening, right? I mean, that's we're seeing that character get removed each time through the loop, so that seems fine. So it's something about the queue is all right. The stack is having some sort of issue. Stack.push. All right, I'm going to run it again with something a little simpler. 7 should pass through, and then it'll get consumed. Okay, that's done. Then it's going to get consumed, and the stack does not notify, and yet it does evaluate. So it clearly got through this step. So stack.pop, it does remove last. And it runs it in the main thread. So well, the last time I thought I was going to have to do something. The problem I have is that, I mean, I don't know if it's going on here, but I got the impression from previous forays into working with Swift UI that when I have an object at this level that's marked published, it's not clear to me that the fact that this is observable and published, like the notification doesn't pass through automatically, but it's been working. I mean, I was kind of assuming my interpretation was off because the prefix converter stuff is quite happy with it. It does the exact same kind of deal. And let's find the algorithm. A number passes through. Well, here's left parenthesis, pushes on the stack. Operators pops, and then it pushes this thing on the stack. We're seeing stuff go on the stack. So something notified it. Let's see. We have this phase thing too. That also belongs on some other object, I think. I think there's things going on we're doing for the benefit of visualization. The uSleep and the phase. And that stuff should be pulled out and passed in. But I really don't get if I do this, I'm saying stack.append. This is a published field. Whoever's observing it should know that it's about to change. All right, I'm gonna have to find this other way of doing it. Let me bring up an old project. Does that count as recent? Sort tables, probably this one. All right, and there we have well, we have these in-memory tables, they kind of get wrapped around each other. They're um, almost like a filtered layer or something like that. But um, I would like to see, let's take the model. It's something you have to do when you publish. Maybe we got rid of it here. I don't think this would have it. No. Well, I didn't use Swift UI. That's one thing. We did for this part. Here we go. So we are publishing a list of table view models, and if the table view models change, I want to notify my listener. Well, it's like they change, I get notified, but I need to notify my listeners that they're being changed. Let's see, where's that? So an action, I don't know. This looks kind of crazy to me now. I definitely got it from somewhere. I didn't imagine it. But I think what you're doing here is somehow you're saying if the model changes, then I want to, well, cancelables is a list of, or a set of basically notifier kind of things. So I want to register on the cancelables to say if you get model, if the model sends an object will change message, I'm going to listen to it, and when I receive it, I'm going to send an object will change message. So I'm going to try this mechanism. I don't know why it should be needed now and not earlier, and if you have insight, please share. Okay, so I guess that's going to be done in our evaluator. We're going to have this very private thing. And where are you at the end? Yeah. And then this. And I'm not sure what maintains all these things. So I'm using something I don't fully understand. I'll admit it. Okay, this is it's the combined stuff, I think. Yeah. Okay, and so where do I want to register this stack? I think I can do it here. If the stack is going to get an object will change, then I should be willing to tell people I'm changing. And if I'm only doing that once, that seems okay. I don't have to worry about tracking one for every push or anything like that. Okay, let's see. And I don't understand. The only difference between these is stack of char versus stack of int. I don't think I understand why that would make the difference, but let's try this. And so what I'm in effect claiming or attempting to find out if it's the case, if there's some sort of display issue because it's not being updated, to not being notified of a change. Okay, so 3 plus 5. Should be 3, 5 plus, and then we should start seeing the 3 go away and show up on the stack. Okay. I don't know. I'm going to add a little debugging stuff in there. Let's put the stack description, if it has one. And maybe it's... Well, let's see what this does. So what I expect is every time there's a push or a pop that we get a call on this little cancelable thing. And the reason you need the cancelables is if you create a listener but you don't attach it to anything permanent, then it just kind of goes away. Doesn't bother even getting notified, I don't think. All right, well, these go slowly, so we should be able to see something come through here. Oh, you see my frustration. Okay, so what's going on? So the good news is, I mean, with this in place, I mean, it's calling self.object will change.send. So that's okay. I mean, that tells me the evaluator, the person drawing the evaluator, knows about it, but they're watching the stack, right? It's really looking at this. Now maybe we're not... The other thing that makes me wonder is, like, should this... It's always like, how is it bound to something else? And that's like this observed object thing is supposed to be binding that in. I would have thought if evaluator.stack changed, that it notifies up through the view here. It tells it evaluator stack changed, you should be doing a redraw. All right, let's go in stack view. Observed object stack. Now maybe we're not getting it, marking it. I mean, observed object should be saying I'm sort of a binding to your complicated object. And if you tell me you change, I should notice it. All right. Well, we're due for a break, so let's take a break. I mean, we can see the pieces are almost there, that the stack is being evaluated. Now, why this 3 doesn't show up in the stack, I don't know. So this is, we push 1, we push 2, we pop 1, we pop the 2, we pop the 1, and we should push a 3. Where's that push happening? Stack.push. Why just push, not notify? Certainly seems like it should. Okay, let's take a 2 or 3 minute break. Hello, welcome back. All right, so I'm definitely a little puzzled why we're not getting a notification here. I mean, it should be 1, 2. Let's go to evaluator. I mean, evaluator, the 2 numbers get pushed. That's the 1, 2. Then we pop value R, pop value L. Those both seem to show, but this one doesn't get a notification. Which is also weird. Okay, but stack.push. Let's compare push and pop, I guess. Stack.append, stack.remove. That's all equally plausible to me. Okay, so I don't know. The only, well, we don't sleep after this push. I don't think that should matter because we're going to go back to the top of the list. Let's run it with a little more complicated. Let's do 1 plus 2 plus 3 anyway. And maybe 1 plus 2 plus 4 so we can tell these values apart. Which should be 1, 2 plus 4 plus. And we got to push 1, push 2, pop those 2 values, apply the operator, push 4. Are we done? Oh, there's the 3, there's the 4. 3, pop. And 7 is the value. I don't know why the notification isn't there. But I would have thought any of these notifications should update the stack. Okay. The visual stack. It's observing this. Now we're going to try and see if there's any difference between stack on the evaluator and stack on the prefix converter. Okay, well, we got a stack of characters. It's marked published. On the evaluator, we have a stack of integers marked published. I call that a tie. Okay. All right. I just am not seeing anything. I mean, handle operator. Well, there's a stack.pop. Pops operators, and then pushes another operator symbol. That stack is updating. Let's add what if we have an evaluator phase? And then we had a set phase. I'm just going to borrow it. Again, this should be it should be part of the algorithm visualization, not this class really. Okay, so if you call set phase and then content view, where's he put it? Okay, let's put underscore phase. So now I'm putting something in, trying to force more redrawing, I guess. But also I do want this phase to be a real thing. No. Oh, what's going on? I'm a little puzzled here. If I run it again, like, do I have an 8 sitting on the stack still? Oh, now notice this. The whole thing already ran, and we're just now getting these notifications. I'm not sure what's going on with that. No. The word notification is so overloaded, I'm just doomed. There's probably another word for it. I mean, this is probably a million things with that. Now, I definitely remember looking at this thing. Example. Okay, observed object. And he wants to redraw it. Had to put the observed object being updated on the main thread. Is it my elements are not identifiable? For each with an ID. Stack view, where'd you go? Well, I use self. She just published, yeah. Oh, you definitely got to watch when you're passing arrays of stuff around. It copies them. Okay, the way Switch UI works: cleans the touch on all states, invokes the body on a view, looks at the touch state of the state variables. If a state property was accessed, it's marked. When it's modified, it triggers another body call. Yeah. And there's something different with these observed objects versus states. States are for simple objects, immutable objects anyway. Um, okay, let's try one more time. 2 plus 6. Can I see them both? Nothing. It's 2, 6, 2, 8. But the view is not drawing. Oh, this assigned to thing. That's something different too. I don't think we need to do that. Well, they're doing this cancelable thing. I guess that's something similar. So, current temperature map Celsius string assigned to temperature string on self and stored in cancelables. So this one, you're picking up the current temperature. You're saying the binding should map Celsius. If we have a picture, no. So in this example, it looks like they're doing a slider with a value on Celsius. When you change it, you set or get the current temperature. So when current temperature changes, map this, assign that string, and store it in cancellables so we know it's there. Now this time it seemed to be keeping up. Okay. We should see 1, 2, 3 times plus. Okay. I mean, it's a little delayed, but 1, 2. Well, that's really weird. Oh, there's the 6. There's the 1. We're never seeing that 7 pushed, but somehow the 1 gets consumed. Well, 1, 6, yeah. 1, 6 goes to 1. We're pulling off the 2 values. We're empty. And then there should be one more stage that we're not getting. I'm really at a loss here. This cancelable thing I did didn't seem to do anything. The push, well, okay, let's run another one. Let's just do 9 going through. It never pushed. Oh, it's telling you before. Yeah, okay, that kind of makes sense. It notifies you before the change is made. Well, So it's saying I'm about to do something to the empty stack. And then it does it. And then we should redraw. We should be redrawing every time through. Okay. I don't know. Let's see. Switch. Force a redraw. I mean, all this is like not supposed to be needed. UI view I don't think applies. Oh, there's on up here. All right, let's see some of these. Observable object has default implementation of publisher. Yes, that shouldn't be needed. Okay. If refresh? No. Very weird. I would not do it this way. Yeah. Changing the data automatically re-renders the view. That's supposed to be done. Create a function that will change random metadata. Did sit on that to acknowledge pass-through subject. User class is a bindable object. Did change as a pass-through subject. Do I need the same thing on my stack level? I can't tell if this cancellables thing is doing anything, so why would I need it on my stack level? But let's try it. In the spirit of trying anything. So I'm saying on the initializer, I'm going to attach this, insert object will change. Array of T has no object. So we can't. That says our stack doesn't. I don't know. It tells me my stack doesn't notify. Every class gains a property called object will change. We had an observed object in content view. Well, maybe I need to do some tests at this level. Okay, let's take this back out. So I'm saying let me do one more thing. I didn't put any phase stuff in here. Maybe I can just say push result with a symbol. Okay. And what I'm wondering is if this will trigger a redraw that does not get triggered by my stack, which means something's wrong with how I publish events out of the stack, which really seems odd because it seems odd because the stack in the middle gets visible and updated and all happy. Done. Now we should start getting our other phase. Oh, did I not? I did display it. Let's default him to evaluator so we can read him. The evaluator never changes. Published phase, very simple. Now, I know there's some sort of listener thing you can put on a view. First view modifier. I guess maybe behavior. Well, rendering. This is all format stuff. On receive. So we on receive, the object will change. Well, what can I chop out? I guess I got to do something here. Let's make something happen up here. Set phase. Evaluator started. All right, and then I'm going to hide all this. So all I expect is it should change from saying evaluator to evaluator started. And if it doesn't, then I don't even have control of this phase thing, which is locally bound, if you want to say it that way. Okay. Evaluator. If, yeah. Go for 3 of them. Even my simple phase is not changing. All right, let's make sure we're in here. It is a published field. Let's make sure we're grabbing the right thing over here. Evaluator.phase. I'm just going to stick a spacer in here just to help a little. Yeah, what's frustrating is we can see the right value being pushed in. And the computation going on. Now, are we going through that routine? We did. So we called evaluate. It printed line 28. We did set phase. And then it's printing the top value of the stack. And we did a push. So the push, that's the notify. It's telling the listener, hey, I'm about to push onto an empty stack. So why are they not? Okay, let me go back to prefix converter. Its phase, published var phase string. Published var phase string, okay. We call set phase. And he just does the change. And we copied the code. Can we sleep? Just in case. Oh, that's going to be a problem. Surprised it didn't blow up. No effect. All right, let's take a 2 or 3 minute break. I'm not sure it'll help. Welcome back. I don't know what's up. Given the metaphors, it's a train wreck. All right. So everything indicates we're calling evaluate. We're getting here. We're also calling set phase, which runs in the main thread. Recall that we're in a side thread. The global thread, I think it is. We Okay, I don't need these two anymore. I guess in my content view, again, I'm going to rearrange the deck chairs here. Okay. That didn't do anything. All right, now I keep coming back to the algorithm. Let's get to content view. We call convert. We call evaluate. The queue is getting updated. The stack is not. So there's got to be something different. I mean, one is okay. Well, this thing says if the stack. Where was that? All right. That example was on receive. Let's add something to on receive if we can figure. I'll try it here. Dot on receive. Publisher. I'm doing something. I'm just going to print received evaluator dot face. Cannot convert nothing to void. Okay, I can ignore it. So I'm saying if the evaluator changes, I want to print out the phase. And this is the mechanism I expect to be working behind the scenes, that anybody who depends on evaluator like this is gonna trigger this, I think. I thought on receive is just sort of implicit on these. Let's see what happens. Oh, if we don't build, that's not so good. Evaluator conforms to publisher. We had an example, I think. Something dot object will change. Well, set phase should, I mean, it's a published field that should automatically trigger these. All right, let's do 7. Now see if we got any notifications from that thing. Notify evaluators, listeners. I think that's a no. And we don't see anything that says print received. Can we modify it more? Phase is published. Let's look at phase. Phase is published, so it should have an object we'll see. Isn't that what that means? I guess only the observable object gets it. Can I do that? Dollar phase is its binding, which is a publisher, I guess. Which maybe I just need to reference dollar stack. Let's see it work first, though, eh? Phase. Let's try stack. So I'm saying stack is a observable object. Its binding is the publisher. Okay. I'm definitely flailing a bit here. I mean, if you publish... Let's try this. We'll push this into each of these. I mean, I guess this one doesn't matter, but... All right, so what I'm trying to explicitly detect the places where I'm changing state. And before I change the state, I'm not notifying any listeners to the stack itself. Okay. Now, these things are always coming up. Oh, it's not going to matter with one value. I don't know why there are quite so many. Well, let's try it with 9 plus 1. Did I modify the wrong object? Still computing it correctly. Ugh. Well, I guess stack is going to get notified every time. No, wait a minute. I just did Q. No, I didn't do Q. Okay, let's try this back to the object I thought it was. These are only listening to this stack. Okay. Well, I should say I'm not around at the Twitch times this week, the rest of the week. So Wednesday and Thursday, I won't be doing anything. I should be back next Tuesdays. I don't know if we're going to continue with this or go on to something else, but I'm kind of frustrated here. I don't expect notifications until we get all the way through the expression stuff. Okay. Now we can notify, and we are 9, yes. 9 and 1, yes. 9, 1, nothing. Stack is... I don't think it's improving anything. I think I've just double notified everything. Right? Okay, let's compare this. All right, I think it's time to unwind even. I don't need the combined stuff. I don't want that stuff in there. That's all we did in here. Okay, let's revert this. What about Q? We fixed the clear. Did I just mess up the stack? Clear, remove all. Well, that really should be thread.run main thread. That much I know. Okay, what else we got going on? To do, no, content view. Well, we're playing with what gets done. We still didn't see anything that said received, so we're not doing anything with this code. We are printing this still, and it's coming out right. I think these two lines, they helped us establish that we connected to the right objects, but I don't think they're going to be of any more use. Okay. No, that doesn't matter. Evaluator. Now this thing has this any stuff, has the phase stuff. I think the sleeps are valuable. I don't know that anything else is. Okay, I'm taking things out, putting us back closer to where we started. And arguably, I should just cancel it. Insert stack. Object will change sync. And keep the sleeps. Okay. Let's... Oh, the sleeping thing is annoying for sure. Let's go here. Let's put this back as 500. All right, let's see if we've left tests in a running state. I don't even compile. And I think that'll be okay. Evaluator.stack.top. That should be fine. Okay, run tests. Now, evaluator still has some sleeps in it, so it's going to be a bit slow. Come on. 12.005. That's two of those 6-second operator examples. Yeah. Okay. So we've slightly improved some things, but let's see. So one in here. Okay, I'm not sure where to go from here. One thing I could do would just be ignore the problem for now and address these other issues. The big thing to me is delay and phase ought to be owned by some other object, and you explicitly pull them in if you want them. And maybe you need an algo viz, but I don't know. How do you want to configure that thing? Maybe the phase is a global thing, which might be a better way to go. Then we wouldn't have to switch between them. I think maybe that's the kind of stuff I should do. Try and clean out that stuff. Move this down, in other words. So focus on these, and we're not going to do that. The issues we have are not, can I add another operator? Yeah, I think this will make sense to do. I think so. The effect is I would like to pass in. I'm not sure what to call it even, but it's something about the algorithm visualizer. There's some sort of main object it has. Maybe it's an algorithm controller or something, but it's going to own these two fields. Somebody wants to stare at the phase and publish, it'll be published on that object. But this should become more like you just say set phase, algorithm controller dot set phase, and probably that sleeps as well. Set phase here doesn't sleep, but I could see making that happen. So you're almost just saying, yeah, I don't know, maybe not. But anyway, I think those two things being outside would be an improvement, and I think the darn cues should be outside. We're telling the shunting algorithm, hey, I want you to process this input and put it in this output. That seems right. It shouldn't be owned by this, and that will simplify. Well, it'll mean content. The content setup may have more work going on, but this will be passed in, and I think that will be an improvement to it, making clear that it doesn't need to own that stuff because somebody else is filling it, and we don't want to, we don't want to argue over who owns it. So let's get it out of here. The rest, but it's like I'm putting off the visualization issue after flailing for 2 hours. Not totally 2 hours because we did get some stuff fixed, but yeah, not good. So I don't know. I'm either not. See, what's weird is, well, the stacks are owned by the individual things. That's fine. But why the one stack works? Okay, I got 5 minutes. I'm just going to look at that. And I don't know what difference there could be. Evaluator.stack, converter.stack. How are they set up here? Observed object, observed object. His stack is a published var stack equals stack of character. Evaluator stack, published var stack equals stack of int. It initializes it itself, which seems fine. This name should probably be input, but that's okay. I mean, it's a stack. We do pushes. And then the prefix converter. He does a clear. He does a push. Does a pop. Why would that update? I don't really know. I'm just not seeing any difference that seems like it would make a difference. We seem to operate them pretty much the same way. There's nothing about this. It just gets the algorithm keeps going. Like, why should it make a difference? But anyway, I'll leave it there. So next time is next week, Tuesday, 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern time. I think we'll go ahead and work on that, separating out the visualization controller thing, and then go back to flailing around in the UI. Actually, the only idea I have is maybe I should be making a smaller, simpler either app or files and verify that the way it updates is the way I think it's updating, because I'm obviously missing something. All right. Well, thanks for joining me today, and I hope I can see you again sometime. Bye bye.